so yes, they're expecting something. Now, there will come a point in time when people will entertain seeing something in the heavens that will be a permanent fixture in the heavens and become brighter and brighter and brighter without any explanation.
What?
I'm not surprised they may blame it on beetle guys or something like that, or say something with supernova. That's not going to be it. They tried to prep the world, and we actually in 2005 we had a discussion saying that nobody's going to buy the supernova lie, right?
Right.
Because they were going to say, well, guys, if you see a real bright object in the sky, that means something went supernova in the sky. Well, we knew people wouldn't buy that, and I was privy to sit in a conversation back during that time, and that was a failed attempt to cover for something else. The fact is, what they call the destroyer is real. It's very real, and it's twofold, and it's like nothing anybody else has ever seen.
Wow!
We live in a binary system. I guess everybody's going to find out if we live in a binary system.
All right, now time out, Mike. Okay, this is great. You're laying some of these cards on the table, and we really appreciate it, because you're saying we are going to see something out there. People are going to see something out there. It's not a supernova. It is. I mean, if it's not Planet X, it must be Planet X. Let me just say this. This past weekend I baptized 9 people. One was John Bro Jr. John Bro, 8 people came out of Louisiana, of his family, to be baptized. Now, you've talked to John Bro before, and some people even thought that you were John Bro, and you guys had to get through that about 2 years ago and had to have to show and prove you're not. Which was ridiculous. But anyway, John Bro is a nuclear engineer, and he retired nuclear engineer for submarines, and then worked for Chevron as an executive. He's a highly brilliant man, just as yourself. He was asked to do scientifically and mathematically the calculations on Planet X, of which I asked him Sunday, sitting there, and I was having an omelet. And I said, John, I just need to ask you. You did the numbers. Gil Brazard did his work. You were part of the 13 different people asked to do the numbers. Is there such a thing as Planet X, or is it mathematically, if we haven't seen it yet, is it mathematically possible to do what he says and what the theory is? He said, absolutely, 100%. It is mathematically, I can prove to you that there is a binary system, and that what that other object would probably be what you want to call it, Planet X, whatever you want to call it. Gil Brazard is right. It's there. Maybe he's off by a few months or whatever, but look at the effects. All you got to do is watch the effects of asteroids, meteorites, different things. All you got to do is watch the effects that are happening in the heavens, which the Bible says, Mike, that the fig tree is going to cast its untimely figs. The heavens are going to be shaken like a fig tree, shaking loose figs before they're ready to fall off. And you got to really shake a fig tree to get the fig to come off early. So I'm just letting you know that you're revealing today the actual situation here, that we're going to see this thing. Do you think people have already seen this bright light you're talking about, this being out there? Has it been seen? Is it being seen now? Because I got people calling me everywhere. I got Planet X guys on YouTube. They got channels. I got people calling everywhere. They got people who've got taking pictures. Folks are freaking out, Mike. They're saying they've got a glimpse of it. Have they? Is it visible? Mike around the world. Hello, Mike. Cards on the table for us, wonderfully. And you said people are going to see this light. They're going to see this something way out there in the distance. There's no other way around this. It's going to be. I'm going to ask you a question, because I got guys calling me. I got people emailing me. I got people. There's YouTube channels, Planet X channels. The people are freaking out. They got pictures. Mike, has this thing been seen? This light, this distant binary planet, or whatever is affecting the heavens to shake, has it already been seen? Are these people who are saying this, is anybody out there who's saying this actually got a glimpse of this thing?
Okay, I'll say this. Our solar system is pretty big, right?
Right.
Our solar system. imagine that, how big our solar system is, all the way out to Pluto, correct?
Yes.
So this other system is just as big, right?
Okay.
So they have been seeing are some of the objects that orbit that sun, and it's a very strange way it operates. I'm going to go ahead and let's put it out to everybody. Here it goes. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready for this? Okay, so when you have two stars, right? When you have two stars, one is classified first as a when the sun stops its fusion of binding hydrogen atoms. All right, it begins to burn oxygen and carbon, causing it to be a white dwarf. Well, there's another stage after that too, and it eventually goes very cold. Okay. Now here's what happens as it comes back into its twin system, right? That cold star begins to attract helium and hydrogen from the companion star. So it effectively refuels, right? And it makes the companion star much heavier. It refuels it, almost like it's refueling it for a trip back into space. Our sun is reacting to something else coming into it. A planet is not big enough to cause the sun to react, okay?
Okay.
But another star is. Now that star could be far away and cause our sun to react. So what I'm saying is that people are absolutely seeing some things of a different system coming into this system, and that is the perturber. That is the explanation for the perturber. So anybody who's ever run the numbers, they have come up with the only explanation they've come up with mathematically that fits in that formula of gravity and electromagnetism, right? And it would give evidence for certain objects or belt objects and rotational perturbations of things, is that another twin system is coming into this system. And wouldn't you know it, some of the ancient documents that were hidden long from mankind that they won't reveal today, because they're, buried deep into Lord knows where, they always foretell of another sun. Some of the things that you read, when you read anything of old times, you don't know whether they're talking about the other sun or our sun. You don't know that, right?
Okay.
And so a lot of these documents talk in perspective of another sun. And so we're facing this thing yet again. It's coming back through yet again. And we live in the time of the greatest transition and one of the most painful transitions, right, that will happen. See, most people are so comfortable with the natural order of things where nothing happens. We have long forgotten what anything like that. Nobody today alive knows what that looks like. But all the simulations point to it. I have done a recent simulation. I've been working 2 years on a simulation. I mean a full simulation. And this simulation is it's not good news, but it's very accurate, Pastor Paul. It's accurate down to 3 days accurate, according to everything that's been happening. And so even that simulation indicates that a twin system is coming and it matches with other systems. The reason why I had to do my own simulation is I can't take information from any governmental source, right?
Right.
To actually get to anybody. I can't do that. So the only way I could do that is from scratch. So I took 2 years and did that from scratch with no information from anything of the government, but only from observational viewpoints, vantage points. I already know the real story. But you need something where people can actually take the simulation and see all the elements come up with the same figures accurately, not guessing, not hoping, not wishing for or against, but accurately. And this has been done.
All right. So what
is in deep trouble.
So what you're saying, and you might not have heard me when I was explaining having breakfast, having a lunch. I was eating an omelet, but having lunch with John Breaux Jr. And he is a nuclear submarine engineer and a brilliant. He also a Chevron oil executive that worked in engineering. A brilliant mind of a high IQ who was asked to do the model to figure out mathematically, much like you. It sounds like he must have done a model, a simulation mathematically similar to what you've done. And he said, Paul, absolutely 100%. There is an entity, something that he wouldn't say what, but that is causing the effects that we're having on our universe, on our planet, on our solar system is from another huge entity. So I'm hearing you say the exact same thing. You've done the work for 2 years, and it's absolutely 100%. It is going to happen. It is already in play. And soon people will be spotting this. It's not a star. It's not a nova. It's not a supernova. It is an actual entity or being. I'm talking about it. It's not a planet. It's much larger. It's like another star is what you're saying. It's like another star, and it's affecting. It's drawing on the sun. It's messing with us. It's shaking the heavens, and it's affecting us. And we're living in this transition into the new millennium. We're actually going into a new time. This is it. This is the biblical revelation taking place.
Yeah, it is. And Patrick, just to clarify now, this other system has an asteroid belt too. That's
Okay.
what happens when one asteroid belt comes into ours. And it's not happening where both are level. One system will come up from the south.
Okay.
One system is coming up from the southwest. Because it's weird the way the universe runs. When I finish the simulation, I'm going to give you a couple of animations, videos of the simulation, just a part of it, so people can see how the system is moving around the plane. Patrick, now here's what happens as this twin star gets closer. You're going to see some of the sun's material pointing in one direction. Like our sun will grow a tail, and guess what's going to happen to it? It's going to become incredibly bright, and it'll go down to a red hue. It'll turn red. And then, as this other star begins to absorb helium hydrogen from our sun will go black and be twice as hot. The sun will go black and be twice as hot.
That's what the Bible says in Joel 2.
This has already been observed in most of the binary systems out there, and one sun always goes black with the companion star is in proximity. You will see the companion stars as a tiny dot in the sky.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why would one sun go dark? Is it because the other one is brighter?
No, because the other sun will be taking the helium and hydrogen from the sun with the helium and hydrogen. So it's going to refuel itself.
Okay.
It will draw those materials to itself. Now, when it does this, that pull is so strong, even photons can't reach the Earth.
I got it.
All the photons are also redirected. Photons are light.
It's sucking all the air out of the room. In other words, it's so powerful, it's sucking all the air out of the room. In other words, it's taking all the elements that it takes to fuel that sun, and it's sucking it all from the other one. The other one's just going to go dark for a little while because it's taking it.
Yes. That's right. Now, a lot of people, they talk about destroyer Nibiru and all that. I don't use the name Nibiru because that came from Zechariah Sitchin. Okay? That's why.
Okay.
And so Zechariah Sitchin was predisposed not to believe in certain things.
Right. So you don't like to use that. So you don't want to use that term, all right? No. We don't use it. So how about Planet X? You want to use that one?
Yeah. I would. That's why I always talk about a twin system or a planet X, an unknown planet. Yes, but I would say an unknown system, not just a planet.
Okay.
System, and the destroyer being part of that system. The destroyer is one of the planets inside that system.
Okay.
The system is huge.
It's gigantic.
It's a baby system compared to that.
That's why it can shake our system. It's why why the sun will turn black as sackcloth of hair in Joel 2. It's why the moon will turn to blood in Joel 2. It's why there will be smoke and pillars of fire, Joel 2. It's why there will be earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and tsunamis, typhoons, chaos, radiation, wormwood. As you're saying, this system is so much larger than our system that it's going to shake things up. It's going to suck the sun dry. It's going to mess up the whole thing. And it's the destroyer. And Jesus Christ is the only hope, right? I mean, we're back to this. Are we back to Jesus again?
Yeah. You know what, Pastor Paul, for a long time, people have looked at the physical implications of what is happening. Now, I'm going to set up a special broadcast concerning the mark of the beast.
Okay.
And here's what I mean